Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Pahimam. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Satashishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Satashishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jayanitai Gaura Premanandi Haribol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So let's begin by narrating the birth. By the way, Abhay, thank you very much. That was wonderful. The birth and the history of Hanuman, yes, as told to Lord Rama by Agastya Rishi. And after reading this, we're going to discuss a little bit about the significance of Hanuman being on the flag of Sri Arjuna, yes? But first, the birth and history of Sri Hanuman, who's otherwise known as Vajrangaji, the one who fought for Lord Ramachandra. Is everybody okay? Are you with me? We're ready to hear? Yes? This is our business. So if you're willing to hear and eager to hear, maybe Krishna will bless me with the ability to say something. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. So I need your help. Okay, let's begin. There lived on Mount Sumeru a powerful Vanara leader named Keshari. His wife, Anjana, was beautiful beyond compare. One day, Vayu, the wind god, saw her standing alone, and he desired union with her. After uniting with her in his mystical yoga form, she conceived a child who was named Hanuman. He cried out in hunger, and Anjana placed him down amid some reeds while she went to collect forest fruits. Hanuman looked up from where he lay and saw the sun. Thinking it to be a large fruit, he sprang upwards with outstretched hands. Gifted with the power of his divine father, he soared through the heavens toward the sun. Vayu went with him, covering him with a cool breeze so that he would not be burned by the sun. The sun god also withheld his blazing rays as he understood that Hanuman was a great servant of Vishnu who would later assist him on earth. Yes, so knowing that Hanuman was such a devotee of Lord Vishnu, the sun, restrained himself, yes, and Vayu also went with Hanuman. So from both angles, yes, he was protected. This is the position of Krishna's devotee. Without separately endeavoring for protection, Krishna and Krishna's agents are always attentive to the needs of a devotee. As Hanuman went swiftly upwards through the skies, a demon named Rahu was also approaching the sun with a view to envelop him. It was the day ordained for that demon to swallow the fiery sun god, thus creating an eclipse. But Hanuman saw him and pushed him aside. Afraid of the mighty Vanara, Rahu sped away toward Indra's abode in the heavens. Going before the deity, he said, "O king of the gods, having allotted to me the sun and moon as my regular food, how is it that you have now given over my share to another? See how another Rahu has appeared in the sky, intent on consuming the sun." Indra immediately left his seat and, mounting his celestial elephant, Airavata, he rose up into the heavens. He approached Hanuman, who was streaking through the sky like a blazing meteor. When the Vanara saw the effulgent god nearby, he considered him to be another fruit, and he turned toward him. Indra then released his thunderbolt, which struck Hanuman and caused him to drop back down to earth. The Vanara fell onto a mountaintop and lay there, apparently dead. Seeing this, Vayu became angry, and he caused all creatures to begin to suffocate. Right? So Vayu naturally had attachment for Hanuman. Hanuman is his son. So, seeing Hanuman apparently dead, he was angry and caused all creatures to begin to suffocate because he controls the air. And if he wills it and Krishna allows it, then there's no breath. Interrupting the flow of the vital life airs in all beings, Vayu created a great disturbance in the universe. Indra and all the other gods quickly approached Vayu, who stood by the fallen Hanuman, and prayed to him to desist from causing so much suffering. Brahma also appeared there and asked Vayu what was the cause of his actions. Vayu replied, It is on account of my son being slain. See now how that innocent child lays here motionless, struck down by Indra's terrible thunderbolt." Brahma then reached out and ran his hand over Hanuman. The Vanara immediately sat up and looked around. The relieved Vayu again began to move in the bodies of living creatures. And Brahma said, "Listen, O gods, as I tell you about this Vanara. He will accomplish your purpose on earth and become a famous servant of Vishnu. You should therefore all grant him boons." Pleased to hear Brahma's words, Indra took off his garland and placed it around Hanuman's neck, saying, "From this day on, he shall be invulnerable to my thunderbolt." That's a handy benediction, isn't it? How powerful is the thunderbolt of Lord Indra, right? It's practically the most powerful weapon. And Hanuman is now immune, invulnerable. So if he's invulnerable to this thunderbolt, what else is he invulnerable to? The sun god then said, "I shall bestow upon him 100th part of my brilliance. Also, when he begins to study the scriptures, I shall enable him to quickly learn all aspects of knowledge. None shall exceed him in scriptural understanding. Yamaraj granted him invulnerability to his rod and freedom from ailment. So no punishment from Yamaraj and no disease, no sickness. Yes, Hanuman is always fully healthy, never afflicted with any ailment. Kuvera also blessed him that he would remain unwearied in battle. That's also a very handy benediction. Yes, if you're in battle, naturally you're going to get more weary as the battle goes on. And as you become weary and weak and tired, then you're more vulnerable to your enemy. But Hanuman is unwearied in battle. Lord Shiva said, "He shall be immune to my weapons and from death at my hands." Vishvakarma added, "This Vanara shall be invulnerable to all celestial weapons forged by me, and he shall be long-lived." In fact, Hanuman is still living, yes, in Kim Purusha Varsha. And there he is engaged in the devotional service of Lord Ramachandra, always chanting and meditating on Lord Rama's holy name. Finally, Brahma said, "O wind god, your son shall be invincible in battle. He will prove the terror of his foes and the shelter of his friends. This jewel among monkeys shall be able to change his form at will and go wherever he pleases at any speed he likes." Full freedom, huh? Go wherever you please, at any speed you please? Thank you very much. No Brahmana's curse will be able to kill him. His movements shall be unimpeded, and he will become glorious. In war, he will accomplish tremendous feats which make one's hair stand on end, thus causing the destruction of Ravana and the pleasure of Rama. After this, the gods departed, and Vayu took Hanuman back to his mother. He began to grow up like a god, overflowing with the exaltation of his own power, and being possessed of the mischievous nature of monkeys. He started creating trouble for the rishis in the forest, knowing that they could not harm him. So children generally, they occasionally like to create some mischief, huh? Srila Prabhupada said that a boy who happens to be very naughty, right, you know, don't you? A boy who happens to be very naughty, that is the sign of intelligence, huh? They will be intelligent when they're older. So what to speak of a young boy who's also, he also has monkey nature. We like to say to our children, you little monkey, you're a little monkey. And they really enjoy creating mischief. It's like they get off on creating some fun and bugging someone else. I have a small boy, and he enjoys getting on the nerves of his sister. He enjoys this, and he enjoys it ever more so when she demonstrates her annoyance. Right, that just energizes him even more. So, imagine being such a little monkey and being invincible in battle. Right? He created trouble for the rishis in the forest, knowing that they could not harm him. He would playfully throw about and break their sacrificial ladles and vessels, and tear to shreds the piles of soft bark they kept for making garments. Despite the efforts of his mother and father to check him, Hanuman continued with his pranks and went on harassing the ascetics. Eventually the rishis, not wanting to harm the playful young Vanara, found a way to stop him. Yes, that must have been quite a dilemma. Touching sacred water, their leader uttered an imprecation. "As this one makes trouble for us depending upon his celestial strength, he shall forget his own power." Only when someone reminds him again by reciting his glories will he recall his strength. So in this way, they were able to make him stop his mischievous activities so they could get on with their religious duties. And he would only remember, again, his real strength when someone would recite his glories. So bewildered by that curse, Hanuman forgot about his might and began acting like an ordinary Vanara. He formed a strong friendship with Sugriva, going with him into exile when he was banished by Vali. He finally again remembered his power when Jambavan reminded him at the time of searching for Sita. So this is a brief reminder, description of the birth and the history of Sri Hanumanji. Would it be okay if we close that door? Is that okay? There's a lot of, from both directions there's going to be noise, but what to do? So I'm very much depending on Sri Hanumanji's mercy in order to speak something about his glories. This is my lesson for today. And this ties in very nicely with the identity of Hanumanji himself, especially with Arjuna, on Arjuna's chariot. So today, earlier on today, we again hoisted this flag, yes, of Hanuman. And this flag, of course, Krishna refers to this flag as, does anybody know in the Bhagavad Gita? Kapidvaja, yes. It's described how in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna drew the chariot between the two armies assembled for battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna was stationed on a chariot drawn by white steeds, right? And his flag was marked with Hanuman. Okay. So this is very instructive for all of us. And this description happens in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What happens in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? What is the significant? Vyasadeva, in the course of reciting or describing Mahabharata, he includes the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. And he describes the whole situation. Who was there, right? Who's who? And they were all lined up to face each other for this great war. And Arjuna observed the other side, all of the warriors. And he saw that they consisted of his relatives, his friends, his teacher, his grandfather. And what happened as a result of observing all of these different grades of friends and relatives that had come to fight with him? What happened to Arjuna? It's a question that I'm inviting you to answer. Prabhu. He became bewildered. Yes. He became bewildered because he was confronted with the reality that he would have to go to war with those people he was attached to. How can I kill in battle with arrows my grandfather, my teacher? I should be offering them flowers, not arrows. Dronacharya taught him everything he knows. Bhishmadeva protected him, raised him. How can I fight with them? How can I attempt even to kill them? So in this way he effectively crumbled on that chariot. Yeah, he could no longer stand there. He told Krishna, my skin is burning, my mind is reeling. I'm losing my grip, literally losing my grip on my famous Gandiva bow. He became utterly helpless in that condition. But how was he able to be rescued from such a condition of bewilderment? What was on his side, or who was on his side? In order that he could be helped. In order that Krishna could narrate to him the whole remainder of Bhagavad Gita. Who was there? Sri Vajrangaji, Hanuman, he was there. He was there on the flag, flying high above Arjuna. And so taking shelter of Hanuman, then Arjuna received the mercy of Lord Krishna. Only by the mercy of Hanuman was Arjuna able to receive Krishna's mercy, even though he was his friend. Even though he was his friend. Because it is only through the mercy of Krishna's devotees that we receive Krishna's mercy. And so in this helpless condition, Arjuna was able to receive Krishna's help simply by the mercy of Hanuman, who was flying above his chariot. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, my illusion is now gone. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I know exactly what it is I have to do. He was able to receive the instruction of Lord Krishna and be changed by that instruction. Many times someone may give us instruction, yes, and by the time they've finished giving us their instruction, we say, but, and we're right back where we were at the beginning. Our doubts have not been cleared. We still have misgivings. We're still not sure. We still are not convinced. We're not able to act on the instruction or advice of that well-wisher. But Arjuna, his doubts were completely cleared. He knew exactly what he had to do. So Krishna's mercy only follows the mercy of a devotee. This is the lesson that we can take. Kapi Dvaja means, right, the flag marked with Hanuman. First, one receives the devotee's mercy. And in order to receive that mercy, one must first feel helpless and beg for the mercy of Krishna's devotee. So Arjuna had to receive the mercy of Sri Hanumanji, the greatest fighter. Right? Arjuna is there to fight. That's why he's there. But his ability to fight has gone in the first chapter. No fighting. And only by the mercy of Hanuman is he able to receive Krishna's instructions to perform his fighting duty. Right, Vajrangaji, Srila Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavatam that Hanuman's name is Vajrangaji, which means one who fought for Lord Rama. Yes? So Srila Prabhupada mentions that Hanuman is a Mahajana, and Arjuna must follow the example and the footsteps of the Mahajana in order to fight for the Lord's cause, in order to fight on the Lord's behalf. And in a lecture given in Montreal, 1968, Srila Prabhupada was speaking about this, and someone raised the question that, you said Hanuman is like Mahajana, and we must follow in the footsteps of the Mahajanas, the great personalities. Yes? So Mahajanas are like Acharyas, great teachers who teach by their own example. Hanuman is teaching by his fighting example. How is it that Hanuman is an Acharya, a great teacher by example? And Srila Prabhupada said, Hanuman is fighting Acharya. He is the fighting Acharya, Acharya of fighting. And what is that fight? That is a fight with Maya, a fight with illusion. All of us in this material world are subjected to illusion. The illusion of thinking that I belong in this material world, that this body is me, that everything connected to me is mine, and that all of these things in my orbit, in my possession, they are meant for my pleasure. This is illusion. Why is this illusion? It is illusion because we have made a mistake regarding the things that I am aware of. What is our mistake? Our mistake simply is that we think that it is mine. It is I and it is mine. That is our great illusion. And then what is the truth? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. And what is Brahman? Brahman is that from which everything originates. The Supreme Absolute Truth. Everything is Brahman, the truth, the Supreme. And Brahman is also that from which everything comes. So how is that possible? You're saying that Brahman is both the source and the effect? Yes. Because Krishna is non-different from his potency. Krishna means the potent and the potency. Just like the sun means the sun planet and the sunshine. So there is no difference in quality between Krishna and Krishna's energies. They are one and the same. But at the same time, they are different. This is the philosophy of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. That the Supreme Absolute Truth is one and different simultaneously. Everything is God, but at the same time, not everything is God. Because Krishna, as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the origin of everything else. Everything else comes from him, including us and everything that we perceive in our world. So he is the possessor, he is the enjoyer. Everything is meant for his purpose. He says at the end of the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatamam shantam richati. That if you know that Krishna is the supreme proprietor of everything, everything is his property. And if you know that therefore it's meant for his pleasure, his enjoyment, and if you know that he is the best friend of everyone, then you can be peaceful. Then you will achieve peace. So our mistake is thinking that this body is I, and everything connected to this body is mine. This is our illusion. And to fight in this material world really means to fight with this illusory concept. Krishna consciousness means, Prabhupada said, to wage war with Maya, to wage war with illusion. This is what Krishna consciousness actually is. So Hanuman Ji is the supreme exemplar of this fight. How? How is he the supreme exemplar of this fight? Because he dedicated his entire existence to rescuing Sita, the property of Lord Sri Ramachandra, and delivering her back to Sri Ramachandra. If everything belongs to God, right, that means Sita Devi is also God's property. She is the personification of his own spiritual energy. She always belongs with Lord Sri Ramachandra. So if some upstart comes to remove her from Lord Ramachandra's company, then it is the duty of the devotee to do everything in his power to bring her back to the Lord. To take Sita back from Ravana and return her to Lord Rama. This was the mission of Sri Hanumanji. In the same way, if wealth, asset, opulence, beauty, knowledge, strength, anything comes to us is within our care. It is our duty to offer that for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's satisfaction, because He is the supreme possessor of our wealth. He is the supreme possessor of our bodily beauty. He is the owner of our family members. He is the owner of our talents. He is the enjoyer of all work. All sacrifices and austerities are meant to be performed just to satisfy Him, because He is the supreme owner and enjoyer. So we're supposed to offer everything within our orbit for Krishna's satisfaction. Just like a peon, just like a post peon carries the message on behalf of one who wants the message delivered. Yeah? The postman doesn't, open the envelope looking for cash. Of course, some of them may have done so in the past. Yeah? Ever had someone send you money and then you opened it, there's nothing there, and you're like, oh, well, that was a bad idea. Right? Somebody took their opportunity. But an honest peon is not supposed to do that. They're supposed to deliver the contents intact to the recipient. So everything belongs to God. Sri Hanumanji did not touch Sita. He did not attempt to enjoy Sita Devi for himself. Right? He offered to her that, please, I can take you back. Right? He proved to her that he was Lord Ramachandra's messenger. He showed her the ring that Lord Rama had sent. And he promised, I can take you back. Come with me now. And she said, no, that is not proper. Lord Rama must come and fight to take me. He must establish through honor, yes, the vanquishing of Ravana. So Sita Devi did not go back with Hanuman. She wanted to give her Lord and Master Sri Ramachandra the opportunity to vanquish Ravana in battle and take her himself. So Hanuman agreed. Yes? Let's actually go briefly to that pastime. Okay, first of all, in the build-up to this, standing on the shore of the ocean, Hanuman prepared to cross the vast ocean to search for Sita. At first, he was quiet and thoughtful. The other Vanaras reminded him, right, this was the point at which he was reminded of his immense strength and his divine origin as the son of the wind god Vayu. Hearing their words, Hanuman's confidence awakened. Expanding his body to a gigantic size, he climbed a mountain peak and gathered his energy. With a mighty roar glorifying Lord Rama, he leapt into the sky. As he flew across the ocean, he faced many obstacles. What did he face on his way to cross the ocean? He faced a mountain that rose to offer him rest, distract him. He met with a serpent demon who tried to swallow him, and a shadow-snatching demoness. Right, all of these obstacles came in the execution of his service to Lord Sri Rama. Overcoming each obstacle with intelligence and strength, Hanuman continued without hesitation. And finally he reached Lanka, ready to fulfill Lord Rama's mission. So what can we learn from this particular part of the pastime? Are there any lessons? Just from hearing this, I'm asking you, is there anything specifically that we take from this? How he was able to cross the ocean, meeting these various obstacles. What can you take in your own life from this pastime of Hanuman? He had forgotten his strength. He was reminded of it. Yes? And then off he went to find Sita. What can we learn in our own life? Jai Shishi. Radha Gokulananda Shishi Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jai Shishi Gornitai. Anything? Anybody want to share anything? Pardon? Determination, yes. Not that we find our strength, by Krishna's grace, and then everything should be easy, plain sailing. Obstacles will come. But along with the service, along with the instruction, comes the strength to perform the service. And in spite of various obstacles that we may meet, we should have faith and confidence that we can overcome these obstacles by Krishna's mercy. By Krishna's mercy. Okay. So after meeting Sita, Hanuman considered how best to serve Rama further. But first of all, let's meet Sita. Hanuman finally entered the city of Lanka after crossing the vast ocean. Moving unseen through the night, he searched everywhere for Sita Devi. At last, in a grove of Ashoka trees, he saw her sitting beneath a tree, thin and sorrowful, surrounded by fierce demonesses. Hidden in the branches above, Hanuman watched her. She was completely absorbed in thoughts of Lord Rama, refusing the advances and threats of Ravana. Right? She was so chaste. Nothing could sway her from her dedication, her devotion to Lord Sri Rama. Hanuman began softly reciting the glories of Lord Rama, speaking from his hidden place in the tree. Hearing these words, Sita looked up in wonder. Right? Who is this describing the glories of my Rama? Then Hanuman descended and revealed himself as Rama's servant. To assure her, he placed in her hand Rama's ring. Seeing the ring, Sita was filled with hope and emotion. She understood that Rama had not forgotten her. Right? This is a great relief. When you're separated from the beloved and there's no means of communication, no contact, and you're thinking, how will I meet him again? How will it be possible? Is he looking for me? What is his position? What is his fate? Is he still living? So when she had the ring in her hand, delivered by the Lord's servant, hope returned. Relief was there again. But all was not rescued. The mission is not complete. She understood that Rama had not forgotten her. Hanuman offered to carry her back immediately, but Sita refused. She said that Rama must come personally and rescue her, thus establishing his honor and destroying Ravana. Hanuman accepted her words with deep respect and prepared to return to Rama with her message. Yes. So he did not force the situation. He did not insist that you must come with me. No. He considered himself a humble servant, a mere humble servant of Sri Sri Sita Rama. So he also obeyed her command. Yes. What happened next? After meeting Sita, Hanuman considered how best to serve Rama further. He couldn't bring her with him. She refused. And he accepted her reason that Rama himself should come to establish his own honor. So in this position, things may not always work out in devotional service as we think they should, right? I've gone through all of these obstacles. I've taken so much trouble, right? Now I've landed on the other shore of the ocean. Yes? My mission is almost done, almost complete. And then at the final, it's like, no, not giving that last bit. What now? What am I supposed to do now? I thought that this was a done deal. I've gone through the hardest part. But I'm not getting the result. Many of us might cry in that situation. I've come this far and I'm not getting the result. Really? We might give up hope. We might sit down and cry. We might become completely despondent and defeated. Not Hanuman. He accepted the situation as presented to him and then considered how best to serve Rama further. Okay, this is not working out according to my expectation. All right, well, what's next? How can I continue my service? How can I find the best way to complete my mission? He did not lose hope. He did not give up his determination. Right? He was enthusiastic still. So he decided to assess the strength of Lanka and create fear among the demons. Yes? This is what I can do now. What's past is past. The future is a mystery. What can I do now? That's all there is. What is my service to the Lord now? Let's not lament about what is gone, opportunities missed, or results withheld. Let's focus on how to please the Lord now. Now is all we have. So he began, what did he do? He began destroying the gardens and killing many of Ravana's warriors. And eventually, he allowed himself to be captured so that he could be taken before Ravana. Yes, because now he has remembered his invincibility. Yeah, so how is it possible for any of Ravana's soldiers to get a hold of him? No chance, unless he himself agrees to be captured. So he wanted to be taken before Ravana personally. And in that assembly in front of Ravana, Hanuman spoke boldly, warning Ravana to return Sita and surrender to Lord Ramachandra. Enraged by this, Ravana ordered that Hanuman's tail be wrapped in cloth and set on fire. As the demons lit the flames, Hanuman suddenly expanded his form, broke free from his bonds, and leapt onto the rooftops of Lanka. With his blazing tail, he set fire to building after building. Soon, the entire city was engulfed in flames. Having completed his task, Hanuman extinguished the fire in the ocean and returned once more to Sita to offer respects before departing. So, okay, he could not take Sita with him at the first chance. Right? This did not stop him in his mission. He thought, how can I do some further service for Lord Rama? So let me make some havoc here. Let me deplete Ravana's forces and enrage Ravana. Let's see what trouble I can create here to do a favor to my Lord and Master. So being placed in front of Ravana, yes, he had his tail set on fire. But what was the result? Not that Hanuman went up in flames. Ravana's kingdom went up in flames. So what can we learn from this? If someone messes with a devotee, yeah? If someone tries to harm, harass, victimize Krishna's devotee, then the result will simply be the destruction of their own asset, the destruction of their own wealth. We have to be very, very careful not to be inimical towards Krishna's devotees, not to be envious of Krishna's devotees, but rather to be very careful and attentive and respectful. Even if we don't feel like we are receiving respect or the respect that we would like. Nevertheless, let us maintain a respectful stance towards all of Krishna's devotees. And we may not always be in a position to understand who is a devotee really, or what level of devotion they are on. So one should be cautious in all of one's dealings with Krishna's devotees. Otherwise, in attempting to set on fire a devotee of Krishna, one will only discover that one's own assets are destroyed. So having completed this task, Hanuman, he had no problem extinguishing the fire on his own tail, right, in the ocean, was right there. Then he returned briefly to Sita Devi to offer her respects, and then he leapt back across the ocean to bring Rama the news of Sita Devi's whereabouts. Okay. There's one more pastime I want to recount. During the great battle, yes, between Lord Rama and Ravana, who was it that was struck down by a powerful weapon and fell unconscious? Who was that? Lakshman, yes? Lakshman fell unconscious. And what was the cure? Does anybody know? Sanjeevani. The only cure was this rare herb growing on a distant mountain in the Himalayas. So Hanuman was charged with the service to go and retrieve this special herb that could revive Lakshmana. Reaching the mountain at night, he searched for the herb, but could not identify it among the many glowing plants. So rather than delay, he could have come back to Lord Rama and said, I cannot identify which herb it is, I have no idea. Can you help me out? Yes, or send somebody else. I looked really, really, hard and long, and I couldn't find this herb. Sorry, I did my best. Yeah? Send someone else who knows, herbology. Did he do that? Did he just give up and come back? No. Because of his sincere desire to please the Lord, he did what was practical. Yes? He did what was very practical. He lifted the entire mountain because that was within his power. Yes? I don't know which herb it is, but it's on this mountain. Yes? So what is the intelligent and expedient thing to do? Lakshmana needs to be revived as soon as possible. I have the ability to lift the mountain, so let me do that. He lifted the entire mountain and carried it back across the sky to the battlefield. The required herb was then taken and Lakshmana's life was saved. Having completed his service, Hanuman returned the mountain to its place. So Krishna has given each of us special strength, special talent. And it is up to each of us to offer that special talent or talents for his pleasure. That will make us happy, actually. Let us not hide our talent under a rock. Yes? Bring it out into the light. Let it shine. And offer it for Krishna's pleasure. Because it is meant to be offered for his satisfaction. If we don't do this, we're simply being miserly. It is not my ability, it is not my talent, it is not my strength. It belongs to Krishna. And I am simply an instrument. I am simply an instrument meant to satisfy the Lord by engaging what he's already given me for his satisfaction. Yes? This is the example Hanuman is giving us. He was endowed with great strength. Enough strength to lift an entire mountain. It would have been improper and miserly of him to say, I don't know which herb it is. Yes? Send someone else. No, he did what was practical and within his own power. Bring the whole mountain. So when we don't know exactly how to serve, we should still act with full sincerity. I can't give the exact thing that my Lord is asking for, but I can do the next best thing. I can do the next best thing. And when we try like this sincerely, to do whatever is within our power to please Krishna, then we get mercy. Krishna is very pleased. Okay. So Hanuman is like this postal peon. He is completely dedicated to returning Sita Devi to Lord Ramachandra. He has no desire to enjoy any of the Lord's opulences for himself. And because of his pure devotional attitude to Lord Ramachandra, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, would offer obeisances to the deity of Hanuman. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya toured extensively in South India, and he visited many places and many deities of the Lord in his various incarnations. And in such places there were also deities of Hanuman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his full prostrated obeisances to Hanumanji. Lord Ramachandra would not do this, because Lord Ramachandra is in the position of Hanuman's master. Krishna also would not do this. But Lord Chaitanya did this, even though he is Krishna himself. Because Lord Chaitanya is playing the part of a devotee of Krishna. He is in the role of bhakta, devotee. And he is teaching by his own example that we must properly respect and offer obeisances to the greatest devotees of Krishna. Yes? So Mahaprabhu offers his respectful obeisances to Hanuman. And this ties in very nicely with the position of Arjuna. Srila Prabhupada, in this lecture he gave in Montreal in 1968 on Bhagavad Gita 4.1, he said, Arjuna's prayer is that, Dear Vajrangaji, Sri Hanuman, you are a great devotee and fighter. Please help me. Yes? Please help me. You are a great devotee and fighter. Please help me. And having Hanuman there, helping him on the chariot, in the form of Vajrangaji, this deity form of Hanuman, as the flag. Arjuna did not have the Jaya Pataka. It was not a flag of victory. He had this Kapi Dvaja, the flag of Hanuman. Because he is in a helpless position, helpless condition, I'm faced with an impossible service. I'm supposed to fight, but who is it that I'm supposed to fight with? I'm supposed to fight with my grandfather, with my teacher, with my cousins, my relatives. I cannot do it. It's impossible. So helpless condition. One must first feel helpless and beg for the mercy of the greatest fighter, Hanuman, in order to receive the Lord's instructions. In order to understand Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, we must follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. Right? Carrying the lotus feet of Hanuman on our head. Hanuman ji, please, I am helpless. I cannot do any service. I don't know anything. I have no strength, no determination. Please help me. In this mood, we can begin to receive Krishna's instruction and be engaged in the Lord's pure devotional service. I want to read something to you. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Text 10. Maharaj Parikshit is asking Shukadev Goswami to clarify various queries he has. Maharaj Parikshit, this is from the purport to text 10. Maharaj Parikshit admitted in the previous verse that the Lord is inconceivable even for the greatest learned scholars. Why then should he again request Shukadev Goswami to clarify his insufficient knowledge about the Lord? The reason is clear. Not only was Shukadeva Goswami vastly learned in the Vedic literatures, but he was also a great self-realized soul and a powerful devotee of the Lord. Okay? So learned scholars can hardly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that practically no one knows me. Out of many millions of people, hardly one knows me in truth. Yatatam, api sarvesham. Hardly one knows me in truth, even of those who are endeavoring. And I reserve the right of not being exposed to those who are against me, inimical toward me. But Arjuna, because you're my devotee, and because you're my friend, and you're never envious of me, I will reveal to you everything about me. And you can understand it as well, because you love me. That's how you can understand. So because Shukadeva Goswami was also a great self-realized soul and a powerful devotee of the Lord, Parikshit Maharaj had full confidence that he could answer his questions and clear his doubts. A powerful devotee of the Lord is, by the grace of the Lord, listen to this very carefully, a powerful devotee of the Lord is, by the grace of the Lord, more than the Lord himself. The personality of Godhead, Sri Ramachandra, attempted to bridge the Indian Ocean to reach the island of Lanka. Yes, they had to make a bridge, didn't they? They managed to float these stones with the name of Lord Rama in order to build that bridge. But Sri Hanumanji, the unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead, that means he was a pure devotee, had no material motive, no self-interest, only caring for Krishna's interest. He could cross the ocean simply by jumping over it. The Lord is so merciful upon his pure devotee that he presents his beloved devotee as more powerful than himself. Yes? Krishna presents his devotee as more powerful than himself. And if one takes shelter of Krishna's devotee, then one receives even greater mercy than if one tries to approach Krishna directly. Therefore, we should always be eager to glorify Krishna's devotees, even more than Krishna himself. And by doing so, Krishna will be pleased. And if Krishna is pleased, then he will reveal everything to us. Yasya Devi Para Bhaktir, Tata Devi, Tata Guru, How does that verse go? Tasyati Katita Hyarta, Prakashante Mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the meanings, all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. It is not an intellectual gauntlet. Spiritual knowledge is revealed unto one who has unflinching faith and devotion to the Lord, the spiritual master, the Lord's devotees. Hanuman has unflinching devotion to Lord Sri Ramachandra. Yes? Once Krishna and Dwarka asked Garuda to go and ask Hanuman to come here. So Garuda went, and arriving there, he asked Hanuman, please, Krishna and Dwarka is calling you to come. He asked once, twice, thrice. Then Hanuman became angry and gave Garuda a lash with his tail so fiercely that Garuda ended up back in Dwarka. And Krishna asked him, what happened? I think this is from Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. What happened? I asked him to come. He said, why did you mention my name? He said, you should have said Lord Rama's name. So again he went back to Hanuman and said, Lord Rama is asking you to come. And Hanuman immediately got up and said, my Lord is calling. I'm coming immediately. Garuda said, get on my back. Hanuman said, no need, I can make my own way. When Garuda arrived back in Dwarka, Hanuman was already there. Krishna had assumed the form of Lord Ramachandra. Lord Balaram had assumed the form of Lakshmana. Rukmini Devi, the form of Sita Devi, and Hanuman bowed before them. Just like we have here at Bhaktivedanta Manor. This is Hanuman's devotion for Lord Ramachandra. He knows only Sita and Rama as his worshipable Lord and Lady. Shri Hanumanji ki, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jai, Hare Krishna. So now we'll have Gaur Arti. Please everybody stand. And let's create a small corridor in the center of the room so that we can properly respect Krishna's devotee, Srila Prabhupada, who is sitting at the back of the temple room.
Arati ka shobha ki bajayo jayo gora chandre arati ka shobha હરિ બોલ. બહો કોટી ચંદ્ર જેને વદન